Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Staff Sergeant Michael Cavanaugh. I have with me today Sergeant First Class Michael Nickerson, and I'm going to be asking him some questions about his experiences in the Army and potential reasons why somebody might want to join the Army, and also give you a chance just to get to know him. So, Sergeant Nickerson, welcome.
All right, thanks.
You're a hero.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody loves you.
All right.
And
Glad
so,
to be here.
let's just start out. Tell us where you're from.
All right, hey, so I'm from Southern California. I grew up there, mostly in the Santa Monica, Los Angeles area. So, I grew up around, playing sports and enjoying the sunshine down there in Cali. I grew up there the majority of my life.
So, the burning question is, you're from California. What
am.
made you want to join the Army and leave that life of surfing, sand, and all that cool stuff?
Well, so the cool thing is that in the Army, you have the opportunity to do all that, which is pretty cool. But I eventually wanted to join the military at some point as I was getting ready to be a senior in high school. I talked to a few people that had, talked to a couple of recruiters. My dad and my family were in the military, so my dad served in the Marine Corps. So essentially I wanted to do some sort of service. I figured no better way to actually go and do some things that I enjoy doing, whether it's outdoors or recreational, and doing some of the cool stuff that the Army says they could potentially allow you to do. So I talked to a recruiter and decided to go in and join the Army.
So why the Army?
Well, the Army has a lot of opportunities that a lot of the other branches didn't have. Like I said, my dad was in the Marine Corps, and I decided to talk to all the branches to kind of get an idea of what was available to me. The Army gave me the best opportunity in terms of education and a guaranteed job, which was cool. And I wanted to do infantry because my dad was infantry in the Marine Corps. But when I talked to the Marine Corps, they didn't give me the opportunities for education, some of the things I could do in terms of traveling, and did not guarantee me my job. So I would, essentially go in there, and they said my job could possibly change.
So the buck stops at infantry.
It did.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
all the way.
Pretty good. You definitely want to know what you're going to be doing for the next 4 years
Absolutely.
or more of your life.
Absolutely. And my recruiters were very transparent with me. They talked to me about every different type of job and career options that were available based on what I qualified for. And I already told him initially what I wanted to do, and he was there with me every step of the way, talking to me and explaining to me and showing me cool videos and stuff that I would be, encountering when I went to basic training, and eventually getting into airborne school, which I did go to, which is pretty awesome.
I've heard visual aids can help.
Visual aids do help. They do help. It was an amazing opportunity to kind of get there and see some stuff that way, so I can kind of have a visual representation, of what I was going to encounter when I went into service.
So from the time that you first got the bug in your ear to join the military to the time that you actually signed your contract, how long was that?
Mine was pretty quick. So it was the quick ship option, essentially. So I went into the recruiting office, and at that time it was like towards the tail end of summer. They told me I can leave in like August, September, and signed a contract. And they guaranteed me, and they're like, hey, you can leave at this date. Still take care of things that you want to take care of here at here locally, with your family. And that was a big thing for me when I decided to go in, making sure that everything was good in terms of ducks in a row, graduating, and then transitioning to my new career path. So,
how long have you been in the Army?
I've been in almost 17 years now. It's been a good ride. 17 years. So, but here's the thing, Sergeant Kevin. I came in only with a 3-year contract, which was pretty good for me at the time. I did tell myself I wanted to do a certain amount of time and then go, but the Army was so great. It afforded me so many different things at a young age that I decided to what we call re-enlist, right? So I re-enlisted, and I went from 3 years going on to 17. So
I've heard about that option to re-enlist.
Oh yeah.
I've heard about that. So you kind of initially enlisted, you did 3 years, and okay, I'm going to try this out, see how it works out, and apparently it worked out pretty well.
It did work out pretty well. Like I said earlier, I was afforded a lot of different things at a young age, met a lot of different people. Going into basic training, there's people from all over the country that had gone in and done the same thing or chose to do the same path. And I was put, with a group of brothers in the infantry. It's a huge brotherhood. We have a lot of camaraderie, and I got to, that was a driving factor for me to stay in the military and do the things I enjoy doing and experiencing all that. So,
now aside from infantry, you've had multiple positions and jobs throughout your experiences in the Army. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, so I came in initially as infantry, so I was, a regular line infantry guy. But after a year into service, I decided to try out for reconnaissance scouts and spend a majority of my time doing surveillance and reconnaissance through the infantry unit, where I've held numerous positions from normal squad line guy to team leader, all the way moving up to positions within the infantry line squad. I've held machine gun positions, things of that nature, and then I eventually decided to go do a couple different things after scouts. So it was a little bit past that. So I spent a majority of my career in the 82nd Airborne Division, which is in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So
Now, one of the things that I've heard about is the difference between the way the Army operates its infantry and the way the Marine Corps operates its infantry is the Army has basically 2 infantry MOSs and one's a mortarman, whereas
Right.
the infantry has multiple MOSs.
Multiple jobs, yeah, within the infantry line guys, yeah.
So which one do you think is better and why?
I wouldn't say one's better than the other. I think when you come in, you learn all the field craft and skills that you're going to be learning as you get into your unit and integrate your team and squad. But the great thing about the infantry is, outside the Marine Corps, you have your basic infantryman, then you have your mortarman, which is given to you right away. But then you have the ability to do light infantry, mechanized infantry, airborne infantry, and then gradually progress to do other things on a higher level within the infantry world. So
I see. How has your experience been in the Army thus far?
my experience has been amazing. I've got to do a number of things, things I've probably would have never done or paid a lot of money to do. By virtue of just being in the Army, I've been able to do it, in service of my country and be along guys that are along the same caliber and doing those things. It's been an amazing, intense experience for sure.
Now, one of the major reasons that I think people are hesitant to join the Army is the aspect of long-term planning. Very few people are willing to commit to a very, very long-term goal.
Right.
And what would you say to those people regarding, the decisions that you've made and your experiences in the military? I mean, has the military, taken care of you and your family?
Absolutely. So I came in, as a single young guy, and then eventually at some point, you decide, as you gradually transition throughout your career, you get stable. And the military is all about family life and making sure that your family is the number one priority, because at the end of the day, you're going to go to work and you're going to come home, and a lot of the stuff that you do revolves around making sure your family's taken care of. And, I did get married. I have a beautiful daughter now. Been married since 2006 to my wife. So they take care of your family. Free medical and dental. Compared to the civilian sector, is bar none probably one of the best, plans that you can have. So, they definitely take care of us along the way.
Okay. And another aspect that probably gives people pause before joining is the prospect of deployment, going overseas.
Right.
What would you say to those people?
Well, I would say definitely look at all your options, because not every job in the military or the Army specifically is related towards combat. We have over 150 different career fields, and a lot of times we try to talk to applicants who come in and discuss a lot of the things that I've done, see if that's where their interests lie, but also let them know where their interests are and what they like to do in their career, and that the Army has that same opportunity or that same path that you can take without having to relate it towards combat. There's administration, healthcare, law enforcement, some of the stuff that can help you transition to the next career path when you decide to get out.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you join the Army, join with the expectation that eventually you will probably deploy, but not all deployments are created equal.
Right, and everybody's situation is different, circumstances are different within the organization. A lot of times you're helping prepare for those things and just making sure that we're a state of readiness. And, there's a lot of different jobs that you can work in different capacities. And, the infantry is just a job that relates to combat, and there's so many more other opportunities that you can take.
Heard that about infantry. You're either training to deploy or you're deployed.
You're preparing for deployment. Yeah, it's on a constant rotational cycle, which is great. It gives us the ability to maintain that readiness and then be ready at a moment's notice. So, yeah.
So, what would you say the greatest? And this is for you. Okay, you only. Your personal opinion. What is the best benefit that you have gotten out of joining the United States Army?
So, the United States Army altogether, I think, would be by far the camaraderie that I've established over the years, the education benefits, the ability to maintain and take care of my family, and receive all the training and skill craft that I'm going to take with me when I decide to transition. Now, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, Sergeant Kavanaugh had mentioned, why did I decide to join the military? I knew at some point that if a life of service or something within the community and something I enjoyed and I wanted to try to do. So what I did was pick a job that kind of relates towards that career field and eventually go into law enforcement and something like that. So that it has set me up to be in a position to be retired and essentially get another retirement after my 20-year pension. with full benefits. So
Now, the main question that everybody wants answered is, right after you graduated AIT as an
Yeah.
infantryman, were you one of these privates that was walking around with their ID tags outside of their shirt,
I
going and getting tattoos of your combat infantry
combat
badge?
infantry?
Yeah.
Well,
Are you one of those guys?
The infantry world is very prideful, and you can talk to anybody who's been in infantry battalion or infantry units, and the esprit de corps that they have, and the things that they do to carry themselves with pride, and everything that they do within the organization of the Army. But I would tell you that I did not get all that. I did try to do the best I could to make sure that I was an awesome soldier at the right place, the right time, the right uniform, and those essentially are the three things that are going to make you, an awesome soldier. Doing what's right all the time, and it's definitely an awesome experience, man.
That's awesome. Just one final question. What would you have to say to anybody that's possibly thinking about talking to a recruiter or looking into joining the Army? What would you say to them?
Oh yeah, so I would say definitely look at all your options. We're always very open to discussing career goals and things that benefit you and where you are currently and where you'd like to be. We always talk about a 5-year plan. So a 5-year plan is where you see yourself, what you're doing now currently to make you successful, and whether or not the Army can actually help you move towards that course of action in a career path.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our first class Michael Nickerson. I'm Staff Sergeant Michael Cavanaugh. Really appreciate talking to you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.